Good morning, guys. Back at you with Misty and MSTR. So let's see if that split next week can kick Mister in gear and get Misty going, or maybe Bitcoin will run for us. We need something. Let me check Bitcoin since it's 24 hours. I haven't pulled up this 64.8. It's not going well. It is up 1,000, uh, but it had been going down quite a bit. I like to see it 65 and hang there on that upper shelf. Okay, guys, let's jump in here. So what happened? Well, not good, right? MSTR was 1511, down from 1614 to 1511, 6.36. Well, we are not capped, right? I wanted these guys to take their calls off on Wednesday, figuring for sure they would take them off on Thursday, but they didn't. There's no danger now with moving down, but what I wanted them to do was gain additional revenue this month because we need it, and they chose not to, and they could have very easily. Okay, so down 6.36, we were down 5.53 from 29.48 to 27.85. Okay, we had shares bought. That's 2 days in a row, right? There was 225 bought before and then another 225 bought now. Um, so we're picking up cash. I understand them if they're not going to roll like I suggested. They don't need to write new ones, wait till Friday. But they did have an opportunity on Wednesday, in my opinion, to get 3 or 4 million instead of the 1.2, 1.3 that they'll end up getting. Um, but let's go look at the weekly. So this is what they had in place, right? When we were 1614, I was saying, hey, take it off the table. But now it's obvious it's Friday. They're going to take it off the table and not have to pay much. So, but what we gained was just a little bit of erosion, um, about 1.5 million, and I think they could have captured about 3 million had they bought that back, written a 1680 or a 1685, and then with this drop, they would have gotten a big portion of that. So kind of validated what I said. But hey, it's not the worst thing they've ever done by far in that scenario. Okay, so here's where we are. I had said, hey, buy back the 1775 and write even a 1700 for 23. Uh, and then that's going to expire worthless, obviously. But this was only 1.5 million on Wednesday. So they're going to capture all that 1.5 million. But had they written this 23 here, this was around $10. So they could have gotten 3.5, maybe 4 million. All right, but so be it. Let's come in and look. So what's happening now, though, with this drop, 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 we're infringing below our 816, our 1550. Okay, so we now, for the first time, have a negative there. So they're really going to have to pony up some money to keep Misty being a high payer because they didn't earn it, right? We went from 37 million profit to 16 million to 17 million. Now we have an 8 million loss. Now, not the fault of the fund managers on that, right? That's the inner workings of MSTR. And I suspect I'll be looking to buy some MSTR. And the main reason, one of my strategies is to go out and buy 10 shares now at somewhere in the 1500s. And then that 10 shares becomes 100 shares next August 8th. Now I got a contract. I can write some of my own calls and do some of my own work because they're doing a 10-for-1 split effective August 8th. So that's my strategy behind that. And I'm doing a similar thing with coin. I'll keep my shares of Coney and Misty. I'm not selling out of those. I just think there's better ways to additionally play, and the cheaper MSTR has gotten, the more I want to own it. And the cheaper coins gotten, the more I want to own it. Um, just like you guys buying Misty. I don't plan to buy any more Misty right now or Coney, but if I didn't own any Coney, I think it's a great price here at 1745. Whatever, it's going to open up higher, but anything under 18 or even 18 is a great price. I'm talking 6 months, a year out. You know, you'll probably see 30 again when Bitcoin gets moving. So, you know, buy it when it's cheap, guys. If you want to be in the income fund, it's not always the best way to play it. It's just one of the ways to play it, right? There's a place in my portfolio for income, clearly, but there's also a place in there for a 2x or a growth and so forth. Okay, so let's take a look. We looked at the weeklies. We looked at the holdings, right? So I showed you the chart. We closed at 27.85, and we are saying fair value is 27.74. So let's go over and figure out this whole thing in the payment. It's interesting. We have no money to pay, but they'll find a way to pay. So before we just had a 17 million gain. Well, a 17 million gain when we were in the 14s was like $1.20. So I was saying, okay, they're about going to have $1. The other thing that'll happen is they're going to win the weeklies. We won't lose any more. I mean, you know, 1,000 or 5,000 or something if they buy it back for 2 or 3 pennies. But basically, they're not going to lose any more money. Then we're going to have another weekly right, okay? And with these synthetics being 1550, they could get to a point that they have some value. Right now they're 1511, they're underwater. So all it takes today is for it to go up to 1580 or something, and all of a sudden we wipe out that 9 million loss. But I think they could be a first time payer of the cycle, you know, the old hit for the cycle, a single. But it wouldn't surprise me to see them come down and pay 209 or 202 just to keep the track record going with MSTR and Misty, right? So that's a hard call. I'll give you my final thing on the weekend. I want to wait for Friday's close. So the other thing, let's estimate how much money they're going to get by writing it. So look out here. They wrote, now the prices aren't relative, but when they wrote 25.35 for contracts, and they did that on 7/26, and the that was the Friday. So they're able to get a $97. If we can get $97 on a strike price at the end of the day today, that's 24.6 million peoples. So if they can capture that all and not get run by, um, just knowing they wrote it for 24 and that we move up and the 9 million loss is no longer a loss, I could see them paying us a couple million. Because look, let's say that they get 24, that gives us 13 million here, right? That flips an 11 million loss to a 13 million gain, and that puts us at 80 something cents. Okay. So 40, that puts us at 40, and then they win some on the synthetic. So like I said, it's up to Yieldmax. We didn't earn $2. Do they want to pay us $1? Just barely break a dollar. I guarantee you they're not going to pay under $1. Even if we don't have it, they're going to pay in the ones or the very low twos. It just, mark my words on that. You're going to see something in the dollar range, or you're going to see a very low 205, 201. But I'll give you my opinion on Friday, I mean on Saturday, because it gives me a little bit more data to go by. All right, guys, that's what I got for Misty. I wish I had better news, but I really kind of like it. I don't like it going down there. I mean, I wish they were paying us 3 and they earned all kinds of money, but that'll come. I really believe that this thing is going to get going with MSTR splitting. You know, we had an initial surge. We're pulling back now. I think that mojo gets going next week. Okay, guys, that's what I got for you. Again, Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation, signing out, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is intended for fun and entertainment. Hope you're entertained. Have a great Friday ahead. Bye for now.